Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we are checking out the latest release for the 737 Pro series from the Flight Sim factory for the Bravo throttle quadrant. These things are freaking phenomenal, you guys. Wait till you see what you get with these. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below.
Overkill simulations, watch us as we fly. Overkill simulations, a thrill will never die in the heart.
Okay folks, as we get back into this, I have reviewed a couple different products from the Flight Sim factory, and this is by far the best ones they have put out yet. This gentleman is absolutely dedicated to creating the highest quality of 3D printed parts. One of the most amazing things about this particular product is they are 1-to-1 scale, so they are the actual size of what you would find in the 737. But this is the first time he has added electrical switches, so you actually have your takeoff go around buttons as well as your two auto throttle disengage buttons on the sides. You still have the flap gates, which we'll talk about. The speed brakes D10s are already preset, very easy to set up, very easy to install. Now unfortunately I didn't catch the video of me installing everything. I thought I had it when I put this recording together, so forgive me. However guys, it is very simple. It is literally, you put the two black pieces down there on the bottom on, you put your gates inside of the tracks, and then you throw your handles up on top, and they have a little pin on the side that secures them in place. Other thing that is really awesome is every single one of these boxes comes with a QR code that you can scan that walks you through not only how to assemble everything, but also as well as how to configure it with inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator so you are up and ready to roll. Everything is very black and white, very easy to follow. Take a look at the quality of the buttons and the way that they were added to this. They're not just simple plastic buttons. They are very nicely done, well thought out. They look very professional, very clean. The 3D printing is also very clean. You can't see any gaps, you can't see any cracks or bad print spots, anything like that. The labeling on them, absolutely stunning and perfect. They are really gorgeous. One of the other things I like as we're talking about the detents here for both the speed brakes and the flaps over there is that they are very nicely laid out in a way that it looks nice and clean and sleek. It's not just a 3D printed with ink set down in them. He made sure to really think about visual quality as well as physical quality. The other really cool thing is you can see those two black pieces on the empty ports. Those were 3D printed by him himself to protect the unused sliders as well. Now as we get into the unboxing, guys, this is some of the best packaging that I have seen yet. Everything is very neatly put away, shrinked in, heat shrinked in, or what's the word I'm looking for, vacuum sealed, excuse me. All of the packaging was very well thought out, very easy to navigate around. You didn't have to worry about anything getting banged up or tore up. You can see even the big throttle handles are very nicely done. I was always been thoroughly impressed with Flight Sim Factory and their packaging to begin with, but I think this was, I don't know what he changed, but this definitely is one of the better ones that I've seen. Now one of the other really cool things that comes along with this particular set is you also get a nice stand that keeps everything in place when you're not using it. So there's the stand right there. I'll give you guys a shot of what it looks like all set up and laying out here in just a second. So really well done, you guys. And here it is. There's the full shebang, everything that comes in the kit. Again, you get that really nice stand, allows you to put it on your desk, on your tray, whatever you may be, keeps it out of the way and keeps it secure. So now let's go ahead and get inside the sim and talk about my experience with it. Now I'm not going to show the configuration options with inside the sim because the QR code that comes with the box walks you through everything. But one of the really cool things is you can see, look on the PMDG 737, you can see those flap gates. Those are used as identifier marks. That way you don't have to necessarily be staring down at the flaps every single time. You actually get through the feel. And the way that the gates work is they sort of have like a U shape where you sort of lift up, down, in, and then back out again in order to get up over it. It's not just a matter of dropping it through. And what that does is after you've developed the muscle memories, it really makes it very easy for you to identify where you're at in the flap position rather than having to either A, look down, especially when you're talking about simulation where you either have to use a mouse camera or maybe VR or something like that, but you don't have to look away from the heads up. You can actually just feel your way through and know where you are in the flap D10 area. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through a quick takeoff, and then we're going to go through a approach, and you guys are going to see how I navigate through the different flap settings. You guys are going to see the speed brakes in action. Now, I want to talk about the detents again for the simulator. These are designed in a way where it requires you to you don't have to make any adjustment to any kind of curves or anything like that within inside the sim. You simply set the axis as shown in the video that comes with the QR code, and that is it. You're done. The arm position will automatically be set, the retracted position, etc., and all the way up to full spoilers, for example, on the speed brakes. And then same thing with the flaps. Absolutely no curvature, nothing that you have to worry about is required. The thrust reverse, which you guys will see here at the end, worked absolutely perfectly. Really, really fun. Here we are rolling out on takeoff. I did, as you guys saw there, right underneath it, I was able to use the go around button. I wanted to make sure I used my index finger so that way you guys could see me depressing it. But normally you would probably just reach down, like I can reach down with just my thumb and tap it. And so it makes it very, very nice. Please disregard this absolutely horrible takeoff. I do not know what my problem was today, but this was that, yeah. I want you guys to pretend that this never happened as far as that takeoff goes, because that was absolutely embarrassing for me to show on the channel. You guys can see my kid, she popped up there for a second there. She said hi. So the overall experience now, why would you want to? Why do we care, right? I can make it work just fine. I don't need any special stuff. I'm telling you guys right now that the immersive experience, especially if you are flying in virtual reality, but not only in VR, as you guys can see, this video was shot in 2D, is a major game changer and a big difference. So first off, I have very, very large hands, so having the 1-to-1 scale really made a big difference in my ability to comfortably navigate through it without feeling like I was playing with something fragile that was going to break. And so there you can see me sort of, again, trying to figure out, get that muscle memory back of working through the flap gates to bring the flap up. But it is a major game-changing experience, you guys. These are very, very nicely done. Having the 1-to-1 scale, believe it or not, makes a huge difference. I know some of you are probably thinking, no, it doesn't. It really does. It's sort of like if you've never flown VR before. If you've never flown virtual reality before and you say, no, I'm perfectly fine, one day you're going to put on a VR headset and you're going to go, why the hell did I wait so long? And this is kind of the same principle with stuff like this. The Bravo throttle quadrant is such a diverse and very capable piece of equipment that having these 1-to-1 scales and these incredibly feature-rich throttle handles really makes a big difference, especially when you're talking about something as high fidelity as the PMDG 737 series of aircraft. Now, he's got a bunch of different stuff, guys. He's not restricted to just the 737, so make sure that you guys go to the website and check that out. I will have a link to the Flight Sim Factory website down in the description below, so make sure you guys look at that. And I also want to make very clear, because I know I'm probably sounding very, very excited about all this, guys. I am not paid to do this. This is not some sort of, I'm not getting any kind of kickback or money on things like that. Yes, the handles were sent to me, but I know the developer, and he knows that I'll call it out as I see it. And this is the best rendition of this product that he has put out yet. From the assembly process to the configuration process to the way they feel nice and sturdy, especially on the reverse thrust. The way that he managed to get the toga and the auto throttle disengage buttons, very, very nicely laid out, very comfortably used. And like here you can see, if you watch the speed brake, there it is, going down and disarmed, and we're going to pull it back up and back in the armed position. So just everything was thought out. It wasn't just a matter of making handles for him. He wanted to design all this in a way where the setup process, guys, if I were to say from start to finish, from the time you put them onto the Bravo to the time that you have them configured inside the sim and ready to go, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 at tops, 20 if you count how long it takes the sim to actually load, right? But that is the peak of the setup process. The rest of it was absolutely phenomenal. And I can't stress enough, for me, the biggest advantage is the size of the handles. The size of the handles really makes a massive change in immersion. The one thing that I will recommend, if you're like me and you've got sort of a heavy arm, I don't want to say a strong arm, it's not like I'm He-Man, but I am. I don't know if you guys knew that I'm He-Man. Actually, let's go Superman. Superman. Yeah, I want to be Superman. I want to be Superman instead. So if you're like me and you have a heavy arm, I do recommend heavily increasing the tension knob on the Bravo, and I think that you'll get much more out of it. With the large handles combined with the heavier tension on the Bravo, and you get a really, really cool and smooth feeling all the way down through the axis. And so it really gives you that sort of feeling, especially, like I said, I'm going to keep mentioning this because for me, this was the biggest kicker, but not the only one, but especially in virtual reality, because obviously in virtual reality, you sort of get that sense of motion. So as you get the sense of motion and you get the audio up and you have that handle with the heavy weight behind the tension and you start pushing those throttles forward, it is so freaking cool. And then same thing on landing. As you come in for landing and you're bringing those throttles back and you feel those wheels touch down and you reach forward just like you would, and you got that same full motion throw that you would get in the real PMDG 73 or the real Boeing 737, it makes a really huge difference. Now, I will tell you that the reverse thrust handles are not one-to-one scale, but I can also tell you why without even talking to the developer. There would just be no way for that to be even physically possible. With the throttles in the full forward position, if the reverse thrust handles were one-to-one scale, you would hit the front of the Bravo. Like there's absolutely no room for them to be one-to-one. But the way that he also angled them, and the angle and the amount of throw that he put into the switch, you still get that really cool feeling of rotating them all the way back up and then bringing them back down as you come into the into the idle position. So it's a really, really slick set here, guys. And I have been, working with the Flight Sim Factory for quite some time now. I've done a number of different products with him. We've done Airbus products. We've done, and again, you guys can see me walking through the flap steps there. We've done Airbus products, and as well as obviously the PMDG or the 737 product. And obviously, guys, this is going to be another big kicker. Don't forget, the Boeing 777 is on its way. I'm not going to give you any further information that, but I will tell you that I know for a fact the Boeing 777 is very, very close, and that's all I'm going to say right now. So there you guys saw me. I used the auto throttle disengage buttons right there on the throttles. That was actually a really cool experience. Normally I reach up and I have to toggle it or I hit a keyboard key. My landing is a little better than the takeoff, but not by much. So again, I'm sorry, don't judge me. But I think I did manage to, for more or less, maintain center line. I think we might have come off it at the end. But check out the reverse thrust action here, guys. This is really cool. Really, really nicely done. So there's touchdown, reaching forward. Look at that throw. Nice long throw on those reverse thrusts. You can see them coming back in the sim. Looking for that 80 knots. And bringing them back in. And there they go, back into forward position. Spoilers automatically retract. Like, it just, this is phenomenal. It really is a lot of fun to use. I promise it's a major game changer, guys. You guys know that I've always been upfront about products I like and dislike both alike. Kind of likely and likewise. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, Flight Sim Factory. A link to this will be down in the description below. Definitely check them out. And to Flight Sim Factory, thank you very much for sending me this product. You've done an absolutely astounding job with this. This is your best release yet. Can't wait to see what you come up with next, pal. Good luck to you. And as always, guys, you know the drill. Stay safe. Stay healthy. For those of you going to the Flight Sim Expo 2024, I will see you guys there. And as always, I'll see you in the next one, folks.